The message arrived at 4:12 Universal Time Coordinated, slipping through every communications network on Earth. It didn't matter whether someone sat in a cockpit, a farmhouse, a boardroom, or a bunker, every screen flickered, every speaker pulsed with a voice not shaped by human air or throat. It resonated like vibrating metal and cold wind, a sound built to command. Humanity of Sol. Kneel. Comply. Survive. 3 sentences. No preamble. No translation matrix required. By the 5th second, the United Earth Defense Network went to red alert. Satellites switched from civilian feeds to military bands. Orbital sensors scanned for vectors. Subterranean bunkers sealed. For the first time in 3 centuries, Earth faced a threat not born from itself. Admiral Rhea Solis was already awake when the alert klaxon sounded. She stood on the balcony of her command residence overlooking the Atlantic, a cup of black tea cooling beside her. She didn't flinch when the world's alarms ignited. She'd expected this day for years. Her wristcom lit up. Admiral, Priority 1 summons. High Command needs you in orbit immediately. Prep my shuttle, she replied, already turning away from the ocean. And route the alien broadcast to my private channel. Yes, The recording played again, echoing through the dim room. Humanity of Sol. Kneel. Comply. Survive. Rhea didn't hear arrogance in the voice, she heard certainty. Whoever sent it believed those 3 words were enough to tame an entire species. She slipped into her uniform, dark black with a silver star on each shoulder, the emblem of the Black Armada, the fleet humanity built in shadows, far from foreign sensors, designed for a war Earth prayed would never come. As she boarded her shuttle, she opened a channel to Strategic Command. Any visual confirmation? She asked. General Markov's voice crackled through. Yes. You'll see once you clear atmosphere. The shuttle launched. Blue sky turned violet, then black. The moment she broke into orbit, she understood why the world had stopped breathing. They were here. Thousands of alien vessels drifted in a silent crescent around Earth, sleek, dark, angular, arranged in perfect formation. They weren't waiting for negotiations. They were waiting for compliance. Her co-pilot swallowed hard. If they fire. They won't, Rhea said softly. Not yet. They believe we're harmless. He glanced at her. Are we? Her eyes narrowed. Not today. The shuttle docked with Erebus Station, headquarters of the Black Armada. The moment Rhea stepped into the war room, a holographic projection of the invading fleet dominated the air, each ship marked in red. Markov approached, jaw tense. They call themselves the Korath Sovereignty. The transmission originated from the flagship, designation unknown. We intercepted encrypted signals between their vessels. They're preparing a compliance sweep. Rhea tapped a control pad, enlarging the enemy flagship. Its hull resembled obsidian carved into a long spear, glowing faintly along etched lines. They didn't come to negotiate, she said. They came to enforce hierarchy. And if we refuse? Rhea looked at the hologram without blinking. Then they'll attempt subjugation. Markov exhaled. Then we skip diplomacy. There was never room for it. The room fell silent. Everyone present understood the weight of what she was about to authorize. For decades, Earth pretended the Black Armada didn't exist. Officially, the fleet was a theoretical project, a budgetary ghost. In reality, it was humanity's insurance against extinction. Rhea opened a secure command channel. Bring the Armada online. Operators moved without hesitation. Massive reinforced doors beneath the Atlantic began to open. Deep in hidden shipyards, engines hummed as colossal vessels, sleek, black, impossible to detect on standard scans, awakened. Fusion cores roared. Stealth plating shifted. Weapons hummed to life. The largest ship, Nexus 1, rose from the ocean like a leviathan breaching the surface. Water cascaded off its hull in shimmering sheets. Within minutes, it joined its sister ships above Earth's horizon, forming the countercrescent to the Korath fleet. Markov stared. We've kept them hidden for 40 years. Let's hope surprise counts for something. It always does, Rhea replied. A communication ping pulsed across the war room. Admiral, Korath flagship issuing a new transmission. Patch it through. A towering hologram materialized above the central table. The alien resembled an avian figure carved from burnished metal, tall, regal, eyes glowing with cold blue light. Its armor shimmered with geometric gold inlays, each piece fitting like ceremonial plating. "You defy protocol," the alien declared. "Your species was granted an opportunity to kneel. Rebellion will result in eradication." Rhea stepped forward. "This is Admiral Rhea Solis of the United Earth Black Armada. Earth kneels to no empire." The alien tilted its head, studying her as if examining an insect that dared raise its voice. "Primitive defiance. Predictable. Termination authorized." The hologram vanished. Markov cursed under his breath. "They're powering weapons. Then we strike first." Rhea raised her wristcom. "All units, initiate Black Protocol. Engage under blackout parameters. Target structural weak points. Disable first, destroy if needed." Signals rippled through the fleet. The Black Armada vanished from visible and infrared detection, slipping into stealth mode. The Korath ships twitched, recalibrating sensors, confused by the sudden disappearance of human vessels. On the Nexus 1 bridge, Rhea took her command chair. The entire crew watched her with unwavering trust. "Admiral," her tactical officer announced, "enemy weapons are charging." "Good." Her voice remained steady. "Let the galaxy witness our answer." She lifted one hand. "Black Armada, fire." The darkness of space erupted. Hundreds of invisible human ships launched kinetic spears, plasma lances, railgun bolts, and EMP bursts directly into the heart of the Korath formation. Their shields buckled. Their perfect crescent shattered. Shockwaves rippled across orbit. For the first time in their empire's long dominion, the Korath knew fear. Humanity had not knelt. Humanity had answered with fire. The Korath flagship staggered under the initial assault, its obsidian hull flickering with ruptured shields. Dozens of its escort vessels spiraled out of formation, their stabilizers failing as human kinetic strikes tore clean through their armor. Space filled with fragments of shattered plating drifting like black snow. Yet the Korath did not retreat. Their empire had survived 1,000 uprisings. They had crushed civilizations older than human history. They refused to believe the species before them, new to the galactic stage, had just wounded an armada built on centuries of conquest. On the Nexus 1 command bridge, Admiral Rhea Solis observed the tactical readings with focused calm. The light from floating holodisplays washed across her face, reflecting the controlled intensity simmering beneath her composure. "Damage assessment on enemy formation?" she asked. Tactical Officer Mendrix scanned quickly. 10 vessels incapacitated. 3 critical. Flagship shields destabilizing, but stabilizers are attempting to recover. Rhea leaned forward. "They won't recover in time. Maintain pressure." "Yes, The comms officer turned sharply. Incoming transmission from the enemy flagship unfiltered, priority level unknown. Rhea raised her hand. "Put it on." The air above the central console crackled to life, projecting the towering Korath sovereign once more. This time, fragments of light wavered across its armor, signs of internal strain, not design. Its eyes burned with contained fury. "Human leader. Your strike was not expected. Your species demonstrates recklessness bordering on self-annihilation." Rhea stepped into the light, her voice cold and steady. "You came demanding submission. We showed capability instead." A resonant tremor filled the hologram. "You mistake capability for significance. You have wounded a single limb of the sovereignty. The rest will come." Rhea didn't blink. "Then they'll find us ready." The sovereign's posture stiffened. "Your system will be encircled. Your moons shattered. Your sun dimmed. Kneel now, and extinction may be postponed." Rhea ended the transmission with a simple gesture. "Threat repetition indicates desperation," she said. "They're trying to buy time." Markov nodded from the secondary console. "Because they're not used to facing a fleet that fights like ours." Rhea looked at him. "Or because they don't understand how far we're willing to go." The deck shook as the Nexus 1 fired another volley. Railgun slugs launched with near-silent aggression, leaving faint blue trails. More Korath escorts fractured under the barrage. "Admiral," Mendrix said, Korath reinforcements folding into local space. The holomap expanded as dozens of new ships appeared across the grid, warping into orbit. Their hulls glowed with crimson energy signatures, more aggressive than the original fleet. Markov muttered, "They're escalating fast." "Expected," Rhea replied. "The sovereignty crushes resistance by overwhelming force. They underestimate species that innovate under pressure." She opened a fleet-wide channel. "All units, formation shift Omega-3. Draw them in. Make them commit resources." The Black Armada maneuvered with surgical precision. Instead of retreating, human ships repositioned into a staggered crescent, a pattern that lured the Korath into a tightening funnel. From a distance, it resembled a trap unfolding petal by petal. The reinforcements surged toward the Nexus 1. Their weapons glowed as beams of concentrated energy carved through space. Several human frigates absorbed direct hits, shields flaring under the strain. Commander Hayes of the stealth frigate Solstice appeared on screen. "Admiral, our shields are failing. Request permission to reposition." "Granted." "Use the dust cloud from their debris field for cover," Rhea ordered. "Switch to shadow pulse weapons only." "Yes, Admiral." The battle intensified. Korath beams scorched the void, streaks of red slicing through drifting wreckage. Human counterfire lanced forward, disrupting shield arrays and targeting exposed conduits. Mendrix called out, "Admiral, the enemy is analyzing our patterns. They're trying to isolate our command relays." "Of course they are," Rhea said. "Block them with phantom signals. Feed them decoys." The Nexus 1 deployed a network of false transmissions, digital ghosts mimicking human command traffic. Korath ships redirected fire toward empty pockets of space, confused by the shifting noise. Markov grinned. "They think they've cornered our flagship." "Perfect," Rhea said softly. "Let them close in." Moments later, the Korath vanguard swept toward the Nexus 1, dozens of sleek warships forming a tight spearhead aimed at the heart of the human fleet. "Enemy weapons at full charge," Mendrix warned. Rhea rose from her seat. "Activate the Vesper array." Gasps rippled through the bridge. The Vesper array had never been used outside simulations. Even within classified channels, it was whispered about with uncertainty. Markov stepped closer. "Rhea, once we fire it, there's no hiding what we've built." "Good," she replied. "The galaxy needs to see our capability." The lights across the Nexus 1 dimmed slightly as power rerouted to the array. Panels folded open along the ship's spine, revealing a long prism of crystalline machinery glowing with a cold, blue radiance. Mendrix's voice trembled. "Array online. Target their spearhead." "Locked." Rhea lifted her hand. "Fire." The array unleashed a single beam, narrow and silent, like a shard of frozen light hurled through darkness. It didn't explode. It didn't flare. It simply passed through the enemy formation. For a second, nothing happened. Then the Korath ships began to fail one by one, like candles snuffed out. Their power cores dimmed. Their weapons went cold. Engines froze mid-burn. The entire spearhead drifted lifelessly, momentum carrying them into a slow, widening spiral. The bridge fell silent. Markov exhaled. "You just turned off an entire fleet." Rhea's expression didn't change. "And sent a message." Tactical sensors flickered. A new transmission attempted to broadcast from the Korath flagship, but the signal stuttered, distorted by shockwaves from the crippled formation. Mendrix adjusted frequencies. "Receiving partial message." The Sovereign's voice cut through the static, no longer commanding, but strained. "Human Admiral, this level of weaponry violates interstellar protocols. You have declared war on the sovereignty, and the sovereignty does not lose wars." Rhea replied, "You came here expecting obedience. Instead, you found opposition. Return to your empire and reconsider your assumptions." Static swallowed the final fragments of the alien message. The Korath fleet began pulling back, forming a defensive shell around their flagship. Their disciplined withdrawal showed they were no longer acting from arrogance, they were acting from fear. Markov stepped beside Rhea. They'll bring more. They'll call every battle group in their charts. I know, she said. But now they understand this world won't kneel. The next move will shape everything. As the crippled Korath ships drifted across the stars, the Black Armada repositioned around Earth like a shield forged from determination and steel. Humanity had drawn blood. The sovereignty would answer. And Rhea Solis would be ready. The battle had ended hours earlier, but the weight of its consequences pressed on every corridor of Erebus Station. Technicians moved with sharpened precision, updating shield matrices, repairing hull scarring, and rewriting tactical algorithms. Conversations were low, eyes intent, hands steady. Humanity had survived the first strike. Now came the harder part, deciding what to do with the time their victory had bought. Admiral Rhea Solis strode through the station's central artery, her pace even, expression unreadable. Her uniform bore a subtle scorch mark across the right sleeve, a reminder of the railgun surge that had rattled the Nexus 1 during the final exchange. She didn't bother replacing it. The scar told the truth: Earth had entered a war it didn't fully understand. General Markov waited at the entrance to the Command Council chamber, arms crossed. He looked older than he had a day earlier, though he'd hardly slept. They're all inside, he said. Some are ready to challenge you. Others want to follow without question. That's always the way, Rhea replied. He opened the door. Inside, the chamber curved into a ring of tiered seats. Representatives of Earth's united factions, military leaders, scientific envoys, strategic advisors watched Rhea enter with a mix of respect and tension. Holograms of battle damage hovered above the central table, rotating slowly, each red marker wound inflicted by the enemy. Chairwoman Ilara Vance, the highest civilian authority present, leaned forward. Admiral Solis, we begin immediately. The galaxy is watching us, even if we cannot see the eyes yet. Rhea stepped to the central podium. Then let's not waste time. The lights dimmed, and tactical projections shifted to display the Korath fleet's retreat pattern. Blue arcs traced their withdrawal vectors toward deep space, while faint red shadows marked their lost ships. Rhea spoke clearly. We've forced the Korath to reassess us. Their first response was intimidation. Their second was escalation. Their third will be retaliation on a scale that could break our system. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Dr. Kieran Holt, lead strategist for Xenopolitics, adjusted his glasses. You believe they'll return with a full invasion force? Rhea's gaze remained steady. Yes. And not simply to subjugate. To make an example. Markov stepped into the hollow beside her. Our encounter shattered their assumption of superiority. That makes us dangerous to them, even if we're small compared to their empire. The chairwoman folded her hands. Then the question becomes simple. What must we do before they regroup? Rhea tapped a control panel. The projection shifted again, this time displaying a structure the room had never seen. It resembled a massive ring of layered metal plates, each segment etched with glowing channels of pale blue energy. Markov stepped aside. This is Project Erebus. A hush fell across the room. Dr. Holt frowned. We were never briefed on this. You weren't supposed to be, Rhea said. The Black Armada was built to respond to threats beyond our ecosystem. Erebus is the extension of that philosophy. Chairwoman Vance narrowed her eyes. What exactly are we looking at? Rhea answered without hesitation. A hyperspatial gateway. A doorway into regions of space the Korath cannot track. It's our contingency plan for when retreat becomes necessary or when offense demands surprise. One of the envoys leaned forward. Are you suggesting we abandon Earth? No, Rhea said sharply. But we need the option to scatter our fleets, strike from angles they cannot predict, and return before they can counter. Erebus gives us strategic mobility. Dr. Holt rubbed his temples. Admiral, if the Korath discover we're constructing a hyperspatial device, the retaliation will be catastrophic. They'll retaliate regardless, Rhea replied. At least this gives us a path to outmaneuver them. The room fell silent again. The weight of decision settled over every seat. Chairwoman Vance finally broke the quiet. How long until this gateway can be activated? Rhea's voice lowered. We can bring it online in 4 days. Shock spread through the chamber. 4 days. Holt echoed. That's impossible. We've been building it for 15 years, Markov said. Hidden underneath the South Pacific Trench. Only a handful of us knew. Vance leaned back, absorbing the revelation. And what do you expect the Korath will do within those 4 days? Rhea turned the projection to a final display, one showing ripples in distant space, faint gravitational signatures far beyond Pluto's orbit. Long-range sensors detected a mass-fold disturbance. Something large is preparing to enter real space. If it's Korath, it means they've already summoned reinforcements. A chill ran across the chamber. Vance asked softly, when will they arrive? Rhea answered with calm certainty. Within 48 hours. The tension erupted at once. Voices rose. Some demanded immediate evacuation efforts. Others argued for offensive preemption. A few called for surrender to protect civilians. Through it all, Rhea stood motionless, waiting for the noise to settle. When it finally quieted, she spoke again. Earth will not kneel. Not now, not after what we've shown. The Korath assume dominance is inevitable. We are here to prove them wrong. Vance regarded her for a long moment. And if they bring a fleet beyond our ability to counter, then we adapt, Rhea said. We strike where they least expect. We deny them stability. We make them question every step they take. Humanity is not strong because of size or age. We are strong because we refuse to accept inevitability. Markov added, fear is their weapon. Defiance is ours. The room absorbed their words. Slowly, the hesitation that had clouded the chamber began to thin. Finally, Vance rose. Admiral Solis, the Council authorizes full activation of Project Erebus. All necessary resources will be allocated. Earth stands unified. Rhea nodded once. Thank you. We begin immediately. As the meeting adjourned, Rhea stepped out into the quiet corridor. For a moment, she allowed herself a breath, a single exhale that carried the weight of humanity's survival. Markov joined her. You handled them well. They chose the right path. And now? Rhea looked out the viewport where distant stars shimmered. The fractured remains of Korath vessels drifted silently, reminders of the victory that had changed everything. Now, she said, we prepare for their return. Do you think the Sovereign will come personally? Rhea considered the question. He will. Empires don't tolerate humiliation at the edges. He'll bring a force meant to erase doubt. Markov folded his arms. Then we give him something else to doubt. Rhea allowed a faint, hard smile. Exactly. Across the station, alarms chimed softly, updates from deep space sensors. The disturbance beyond Pluto had grown. More mass signatures appeared, aligning into a formation unlike anything Earth had seen. The Korath were not regrouping. They were assembling. Rhea's expression sharpened. Markov, call the Armada to high alert. And bring me direct access to Erebus control. He nodded. On it. As he left, she whispered to herself, this time, the galaxy will learn why humanity survived its own past. The sovereignty was coming. And Earth would answer again. The disturbance beyond Pluto expanded into a colossal rift of shifting light. Its edges pulsed with energy that bent gravity itself. Every sensor in the solar system strained to interpret the anomaly, while operators across Erebus Station watched readings spike beyond known thresholds. Admiral Rhea Solis stood on the Nexus 1 bridge as the rift stabilized. Her expression hardened. The Korath had returned, and they had not come quietly. Markov approached with the latest analysis. Admiral, it's a capital fleet. At least 3 Dreadnought-class signatures, dozens of escorts, and 1 mass reading, possibly their sovereign's personal warship. Rhea's jaw tightened. Then this is no punitive detachment. It's a demonstration. The rift ruptured fully, and a vessel stepped into real space unlike anything recorded. It dwarfed every ship in human history. Its hull shimmered like liquid metal interlaced with gold circuitry, each segment adorned with runic patterns that pulsed as though alive. It resembled a blade forged for no purpose but domination. The Sovereign had arrived. A transmission attempted connection with Nexus 1. The tremor in the signal hinted at its immense range, but the authority within it remained unmistakable. "Accept it," Rhea ordered. The hologram rose, towering, refined, burnished like sculpted obsidian. The Sovereign's gaze tracked Rhea with calculating intensity. "Admiral of Earth," the voice resonated, "your defiance has carried you beyond acceptable limits. This incursion ends now. Kneel, and your species may persist in limited capacity. Refuse, and your world will fall." Rhea stepped forward. "You misunderstand us. Humanity does not negotiate from fear. You attacked our home and demanded submission. We decline." The Sovereign studied her in silence. "Your confidence fascinates me. You command a species that should not speak with such clarity to its betters. Yet you believe yourselves capable of contesting the sovereignty's will." "We believe in defending our own," Rhea said. "Nothing more." The hologram flickered. "Then you will witness the magnitude of your error." The projection dissolved. The Korath fleet accelerated. Enemy formations moving into strike range, Mendrix reported. "We count 6 forward attack wedges. Their dreadnoughts are powering primary weapons." Rhea lifted her wristcom. "All Black Armada units, initiate defensive formation Arc 7. Maintain spacing and prepare counter-volley strategies. No ship engages alone." Across space, the Armada shifted. Hundreds of black vessels formed interlocking layers designed to distribute incoming force. Their movements resembled a shield forging itself from motion. Markov leaned closer. "Erebus Control reports gateway charge at 60%. They need 12 minutes to reach activation." "We'll buy them 12 minutes, Rhea said. The Korath dreadnoughts unleashed their opening salvo. Beams of crimson energy speared across the void, vaporizing the remnants of earlier skirmishes. Their force rippled through the first layer of human shields. Several ships flickered, lines of plasma splitting across their hulls. The Nexus 1 shook as a grazing beam scraped its side, sending vibrations along the deck. Mendrix steadied himself. "Shields holding at 81%. Return fire," Rhea commanded. The Armada answered. Railgun bursts, plasma arcs, and EMP lances carved through the leading Korath wedge. Smaller ships disintegrated under the concentrated volley. One dreadnought banked sideways as its shield staggered, the glow across its hull dimming. Still, they advanced. The Sovereign's flagship, towering above the rest, glided forward without haste. Its presence alone fractured sensor readings. Human targeting systems struggled to map its internal makeup. "Admiral," Markov said quietly, "that vessel is beyond anything we've modeled." Rhea nodded. "It's not meant to be defeated by conventional means. We may need to commit the Vesper array." "Not yet," she said. "The array requires alignment. If we reveal it too soon, the Sovereign will adapt." The enemy closed distance. A Korath frigate broke formation, charging directly at the human line. Its hull glowed dangerously, overloaded. Mendrix's eyes widened. "It's going to detonate inside our formation." Rhea reacted instantly. "Redirect Vector 13. Intercept with precision strike. Do not let it breach." The Solstice, still recovering from earlier damage, surged from the defensive layer. Commander Hayes's voice came through the channel. "We have the target. Firing disruptor." A silver arc streaked from the Solstice, slicing into the frigate. The resulting explosion lit space with a white flare. Shrapnel spiraled outward, colliding with nearby Korath ships. The Solstice sustained heavy shock damage, its hull breached in 3 places. Rhea tightened her grip on the rail. "Solstice, report." "Static." Then Hayes spoke, strained. "Still operational. Barely." "Fall back to secondary line," Rhea ordered. "You've done enough for now." "Yes, More Korath ships pushed forward. Their formations condensed, creating a spear pointed directly toward Nexus 1. Markov's face set. "They're aiming for you." "Of course they are," Rhea said. "Cut off the head, break the defense. Classic doctrine." He met her gaze. "Then we change the doctrine." Rhea turned to tactical. Prepare misdirection protocol. Make them believe Nexus 1 is relocating. Within seconds, holographic projections burst across the battlefield, false echoes mimicking the Nexus 1's energy signature at 3 separate coordinates. Korath ships split, their wedges fracturing as they hunted the illusions. But the Sovereign's flagship did not sway. It sees through everything, Mendrix murmured. The flagship fired a beam unlike the others, silent, visible only by the distortion it created. It struck a human cruiser, slicing clean through and leaving 2 drifting halves. Rhea's voice lowered. They've deployed their apex weapon. Markov stepped closer. We need the array. Not until Erebus is ready, she reminded him. The call came seconds later. Admiral, this is Erebus Control. Charge at 90%. 11 minutes to full activation. Rhea returned her focus to the battlefield. Then we hold the line. The Sovereign's fleet intensified pressure. Human ships rotated constantly, reinforcing weak points, absorbing enough punishment to keep the gateway safe. The battle became a test of endurance rather than supremacy. At the 6-minute mark, Nexus 1 trembled under a direct hit. Sparks erupted across a console. Crew members shifted to compensate as the deck groaned. Shields at 43%, Mendrix called. Rhea didn't hesitate. Rotate us behind the Atlas formation. Let them take frontline pressure. We'll return once stabilized. Markov scanned the readings. Atlas formation is strained. They may break under direct assault. They won't, Rhea said. They know what's at stake. Out of the viewport, the Atlas formation moved forward. Their black hulls glowed faintly, reflecting weapon fire. They intercepted a barrage aimed at Nexus 1, their shields flickering under the strain. The ship Resolute took a catastrophic hit. Its engines erupted, sending it into a drifting spiral. Captain Arlen's voice broke through. Admiral, we can hold for 2 more volleys. Make them count. You'll have relief soon, Rhea replied. Stay with us, Arlen. Weapons fire thundered across space. The Sovereign's fleet continued advancing. Erebus Control chimed again. Activation at 99%. Gateway sequence initiating. Markov exhaled. We made it. Not yet, Rhea said. We still need an opening. She stepped toward the central console. Tactical, prepare the Vesper array. Mendrix hesitated. Target. Rhea's eyes fixed on the colossal flagship. The Sovereign. Silence settled across the bridge. Even Markov paused. Rhea, that's a direct challenge. It's a necessity, she said. If we don't strike now, he'll tear through us before the gateway stabilizes. Array aligned, Mendrix confirmed. Rhea's voice carried across the command deck. Black Armada, fire. The array unleashed a thread of blue radiance, thin, precise, unassuming. It crossed the battlefield in less than a second. It struck the Sovereign's flagship. The result wasn't explosion or flame, it was silence. A ripple passed across the flagship's hull, dimming its gold lines. Portions of its structure flickered, then stilled. The attack didn't destroy it, but it slowed it. Markov stared. You wounded the Sovereign. Rhea answered softly, enough to shift the balance. Erebus Control signaled. Gateway fully active. You may proceed. Rhea nodded once. Transmit fleet-wide, all units, commence phase transition. Humanity moves on our terms now. The battlefield shifted as the gateway opened, a vast ring of blue energy spinning beneath Earth's orbit. The Black Armada began repositioning, preparing for a maneuver no Korath strategist had ever predicted. The line had held. The next move belonged to humanity.